Hello, everybody. I just hopped on real quick because I want to talk to you all in the reference to retirement. Retirement on a budget. No job, but you still have to budget your money, guys. Now, when I did my retirement, or when I went on retirement in my mid 50s, is that I did have a plan. As soon as I got my state job, I immediately started planning 20, 30 some years ago about retirement because I knew I did not want to work the rest of my life. No, I did not. Did not want to reach. Did not want to keep going on in that hustle and bustle. So I started paying myself first. Now, once you do retire, though, is that you have a different mindset on your budgeting. Is that you don't get the same amount on your check that you do that you did when you was working. It is a third of what you get. So naturally, you got to retire. I mean, you got to budget yourself. And I want to tell you some of the things that I did in order to do my retirement is still be able to be somewhat financially free of debts because I have small minimum debt, just the necessities, and still also enjoy my retirement and not be so stressful, about when is my next paycheck is going to be. Am I going to be able to afford, the billings and everything for next month? Is that I got side gigs, and I'm going to try to post them in the link of the side gigs, that I do have. Did DoorDash, did Uber Eat, and still doing those jobs. Amazon Flex, to include did Sparks. Also, I sit with the elderly, and I also do customer service. These are some of the things that kind of supplements my retirement. And what I did with those kind of little side gigs, because when I call them side gigs, they're like contracts, is that I work on my own time, my own schedule, or when I want to work. And when I get paid, I also pay myself first. And anything that I left from those side gigs is that I go ahead and then it helps me pay the rest of my billing, such as, my car note. I have Netflix. I have my internet service. I have cell phone, but at the same time, it helps me pay for those little extra little billings that I do have. But I also still put aside some money for paying myself first. It's not as much as what I used to pay myself when I was working out in the corporate world, but it does help, especially as I was reflecting on today, is that in the year of 2026, I have not worked, did any contract assignments for 2026 yet. None whatsoever. And that's when your money that you done set aside come into play and still help you pay for those bills. It's paying yourself first and everything. I'm the kind of person is that I don't live like the Joneses. I don't live like the Smiths. I don't live like the McLeods. I live like me. And when I live like me, I live not within my means, but I live below my means. I am very frugal. I believe that this old phrase in saying making your dollar or your money work for you instead of you working for your money, I still fast forward that into my retirement. I still go ahead and contribute to my Roth because I haven't drawn my Social Security. I'm only just drawing my pension right now. And if anybody know anything about, Social Security in the reference or what's more benefit and everything, hey, please drop me a comment because I am so interested in being a little bit more knowledgeable in it because I'm turning 63 and I haven't drawn my Social Security yet. And I want to know what's going on, especially in this world when they're saying we might not don't see Social Security, and if we do, it's not going to be what we think it's going to be. I'm kind of weary on that. That's why I'm saying that if you're a retiree, start paying yourself again. Start setting up that financial goal and everything like that. Get those side gigs and those side hustles and start just setting aside some of the money. So that way, when you come up with those hiccups, those monkey wrenches that come across your path, you able to get across and over them with a breeze. It's been really amazing in setting aside that money, paying myself first with my side gigs. Because 2026, I have not done anything at all. None whatsoever. And I'm totally grateful that I was able to set aside some money that I could still help with my retirement pension, still be able to pay the bills. Guys, if you guys like this, comments, like, share, subscribe. It does help my YouTube channel, guys. And also, if y'all have any thing that y'all might be doing to supplement you all retirement, please let me know, because hey, we are all in this together, guys. We're all in this together. Now, you might say, well, DoorDash is a little bit slow. And it usually is. Even Uber Eats, even Grubhub, even Sparks, also Amazon. They're slow. But I'm telling you, what I normally do with those individual contract, because I'm a contract, I call it leasing out my services, is that I go ahead and mesh those two together. And guys, I really have made a lot of money when I put them together. I wish I had the footage, or just showing exactly how much I normally make. But sometimes I can make from like about maybe $200 to $300 to $400 a month just on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Sparks, and Amazon Flex. And that really comes in handy when you don't have a job and you're only just receiving your pension, or you're only receiving just your Social Security. Now, a lot of people might just say, well, I'm just too old for, doing DoorDash and Amazon and Uber Eats. No, you're not. At least I had that thought. But when I started going out there doing those things because I like being busy, I was seeing people in their 70s and 80s. That's right, y'all. 70s and 80s doing Sparks, y'all. Y'all, they were doing DoorDash. They were, if they had any medical issues, like, disabled something, they were doing it with that. And then they said this is how they supplement their income. It was a funny story. I met a lady as I was doing DoorDash, and she was 75 years old. 75. And me and her, we were just talking about doing DoorDash and everything, and how it supplements our income, and how we really love it, because it's not a traditional 9 to 5. And she says what she does, and I said, I'm going to do it too. What I'm saying is that I was doing DoorDash, and I met this lady, and we was talking about DoorDashing, and she's 75 years old. 75 years old, guys. I'm telling you, no lie, no joke. 75 years old. And as we were talking, she was telling me that she's from upstate in New York, New Jersey. And she said when she comes down south to visit her family, she drives. And she said during all that time, when she's in between doing the driving, that she's actually DoorDashing. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's not safe and everything like that. I'm a firm believer. No matter where you're at, sometimes you have to look at this world and say, it's not safe, even if I'm in my home, out my home. I can't be afraid of the world. I just got to be cautious and vigilant and checking my surroundings. But I thought that was amazing. I'm like, I'm going to do that too. I'm just going to go on a cross-country journey and let my DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub fund my traveling. I thought that was so amazing. I'm like, and she's 75 years old. That's why I say, hey, age should not play into something that you want to do. Because if you dwell on your age, you're going to start feeling like you're 75 years old. You're going to feel like you just can't get up and do these things that any person, can be able to do. Now, I understand we have health issues. Of course we have health issues. Do not put aside your health issues at all. Do not. But you know what you can and cannot do when it comes down to your physical and mental health. Only you know what you can do. You know. But those are some of the things that I do to supplement my retirement. Is that leaving a traditional 9 to 5 job and going out and being an independent contractor. And not only that, and being an independent contractor, imagine also, when you're doing your taxes, when you're doing the I-99 and you get to file it, sometimes, you can get something back on it, but I'm not going to speak about taxes that much because I'm not an expert on it at all. Not an expert. I'm not a CPA. Don't do taxes, so I'm not an expert. So don't call on Brina. Even though everybody call me Brina, don't call on Brina to know that, hey, I'm not a tax expert. But those are some of the things that you can do to supplement your income. And those are some of the things that I do. I believe in making my money work for me. So as I'm still doing my side gigs, I still pay myself because it's times like this, especially 2026. 2026 is not playing with us. No, they're not. Especially when you're talking about the retirees. They're not playing. Is that I kind of vision myself in 2026 of maybe possibly not having that income to help out my retirement income. So I paid myself during the time that I was doing these gigs. And I also live below my means. Below my means. I tell you, I don't necessarily have to be a steak and potato eating person. Sometimes I like pork and beans and hot dogs. Grits and eggs. They don't have to be shrimps and eggs, steak and eggs. I live below my means. And I'm comfortable like that. I don't have to live like the Joneses and everybody else. Because guess what? I don't know what's in their purse. And they don't know what's in mine. So you always want to make sure, in my opinion, in making your dollars work for you. Put it in some of these different financial portfolios. Go to your local bank and see where you could be able to start making, some sound good investments if that's what you want to do. I'm not telling you to go out there and start, putting your money somewhere that, hey, just set it aside, at home. Put it in a jar if you want to, and bury it if you want to. And then know that, hey, I'm going to go back and hope that my dollars are still there, but just setting aside, just putting away, if it's number $5, $20, or even $30, is preparing yourself for times like this, 2026. Have y'all seen the cost of gas? It is ludicrous. It is ludicrous. Have y'all seen the cost of grocery, how it's going up? Not only that, the economy is going up. I'm talking about clothing and everything like that. It's going up. So you do want to prepare yourself for hiccups like this financially. So that way you won't become stressed out and saying, I got to go out there and get a 9-to-5 job when you know that you have been out for a long period of time and you know that your mind frame and your body is not built to go back out there. Because I know my mind frame is not built for it. My body is not built for a traditional 9-to-5. I tell a lot of folks now, if I go on anybody 9-to-5 job, and if you're out there listening, you might not don't see me. I just can't do it anymore. I like setting my own schedule and working when I want to work. And it's all boils down, and that's what retirement is supposed to be. It's working and doing what you want to do. But do it strategically. Still have a game plan, even during your retirement time. Financially, still have a game plan. I thought it was just kind of weird that once you're retired, you didn't have to worry about, I'm saying because you get a check every month, okay, my bills are paid, I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you do because, and I realized that in 2026, is that sometimes it's good to set aside some money for things like this in this year. It's going on in the 5th month and still, I have not did any of my side gigs yet. However, all my billings are still being paid for. All my little things that I like to do, that I want to do, is still being taken care of. So, hey, get you some side gig. Do it. If you got a hobby, turn that hobby into a money maker. That's what I did. Like, I love to drive, so I said, well, why not go out there and drive and do door dashing and Uber Eats? Now, I don't go out there and do no Uber Eats and no Uber and no Lyft picking up people. No, I'm kind of weary on that. I don't knock nobody that's doing that. Don't knock your game. I don't knock your game. I just can't do it. I heard it's lucrative, but I just can't do it. But like sitting with the elderly. I love sitting with the elderly. You know, it pays really good. Customer service, it pays pretty good if you like to stay home all the time. I'm not a homebody. But those are some of the side gigs that I do, but there's set schedules. Like I say, I'm going to try to go ahead on and post the link down below, so that way you can check it out. You can look into it and see if your state have those jobs and see if they're lucrative in your area. I was just talking to another person, and she lives out on the West Coast, and she does Uber Eats. And she said Uber Eats has been really slow for her. So when you got one side gig that's slow, at least you have the opportunity to jump into another side gig that you have and not skip a beat financially. So have a multitude of little side gigs, so that way when you get tired and bored with one, you can jump on another one. But guys, that's it for me. I just wanted to just get on and just let you guys know that even when you're retired, retire on a budget. You're still on a budget. You're still on a budget, and you still have to have a game plan financially. You guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you all another time. Bye-bye.